Andy said, my name is Mike Obrien. Thanks so much for coming out. I'm sure a lot of you are probably wondering, you know, what kind of comedy background did this guy have? You know, I know a lot of people here, but you don't know everything about my past. What kind of comedy background did this guy have? Well, I wanted to take a couple minutes just kind of tell you kind of some of the clubs I've worked in, some of the people I've worked with, some of the venues. I've actually never done this before. I bet that I could get 100 people in a room and charge them $15 to see me do comedy. So thanks for coming. But I've never been a real shy guy. I mean, I think you remember in the 1980s, I was the king of the hokey pokey. So I did the hokey pokey at all my friends' weddings. I sang to my lovely wife at our wedding reception. So little Lionel Richie, truly. I mean, that just started the night out with a bang, if you know what I mean. Hi, honey. So I'm not real uncomfortable with the microphone in my hand. So, but I do love comedy. I've always loved comedy. I've just never done it. This is kind of a bucket list thing for me. So I appreciate everybody coming out. No heckling. I can have people thrown out if I want to. So remember that. You know, I like comedians going back to, I remember when I was a kid begging my mom to stay up late to watch Don Rickles on the Johnny Carson show. I mean, that guy just cracked me up. I like guys like Jeff Foxworthy and Rodney Dangerfield, guys that are clean comics. So it's no surprise, probably my favorite comic of all time is the late, great Peoria's own Royce Elliott. Every time I bumped into Royce, it was just a treat. So we've got a treat tonight. Royce's oldest son, T-Bone, Ty Elliott, is in the crowd. Thank you, Ty. I thought I'd break the ice telling my favorite two Royce Elliott jokes. I mean, I don't have any original comedy. Everything I've got here I stole, so. Fortunately enough, Royce stole it too, so it's not like it was a direct steal. And keep in mind, when I do Royce jokes, I have to do my bad Royce Elliott impression, so be patient with me. So the first joke is, guy's going down the street, cop pulls him over. Cop comes up to the window and says, hey, you rolled right through that stop sign back there. Guy says, I didn't roll through it, I stopped, I turned right, what's the big deal? Guy said, no. The cop said, no, you rolled right through it, you slowed down, but you didn't stop. Guy says, slow down, stop, what's the difference? Cop pulls out his billy club, starts beating him. He says, now you want me to slow down or you want me to stop? Good, clean fun. I mean, you can't beat it. But my favorite Royce Elliott joke, and every time I bumped into him, I heard these jokes a million times, and when I left talking to him, my stomach would hurt, was the pig joke. All he had to say was the pig joke, and I would start cracking up laughing. So the pig joke, guy's going down the street. Cop pulls him over. Kind of the same thing, so. Not easy going back and forth with the voices either. $15, what do you expect? Guy's driving down the street, a cop pulls him over, comes up to the window, he's got a pig next to him in the passenger seat. Cop says, what are you doing with that pig in the passenger seat? And we're just out for a ride. The cop says, you can't have a pig in the passenger seat. Take that pig to the zoo. Next day, the same cop pulls over the same guy, comes up to the window, there's the pig in the passenger seat. He's got the beanie on with the propeller. He said, hey, I thought I told you to take that pig to the zoo. He said, you did. We had so much fun, we're going to Six Flags today. Again, thanks so much for coming, everybody. We really appreciate it. You know, Barney Winkler coaxed me into this about 2 years ago, talking about some grand plan about us doing a comedy show, and I said, sure, Barney, I'll do it. Not thinking it would ever come to fruition. Well, here we are, so thanks for being patient with me. We are here tonight to have some good laughs, some good drinks, some fellowship. We're also here for the WMBD Children's Fund. What that is it's a fund started, I think, by Greg Batten and Dan Peoria, the people over at WMBD. They help out nonprofit organizations, schools, and churches that help kids. So it's a wonderful cause. It's a tri-county effort between organizations, churches, and schools in Woodford County, Tazewell County, and Peoria County. So thank you all for coming. Every cent of your admission goes to that, so thanks so much. I do want to recognize a celebrity in the crowd. Famous Peoria bachelor and insurance magnate, J.R. Runkle. J.R., where are you at? J.R., stand up and wave to the crowd if you would. J.R. spent 20 minutes combing his hair and forgot it at home. J.R.'s the only guy I know. Every pocket and all the pairs of his pants have holes in them, so women can still run their fingers through his hair. That's my blue joke, honey. That's it. That's as dirty as it gets. $15, you gotta give him a little smut, you know? No, but kind of a sad story about J.R., actually. When he was a kid, he was kidnapped. And these kidnappers did something terrible. They cut off one of his fingers. And they sent it to his mom just to show that they meant business. His mom wrote him back and said, send more proof. So thanks for coming, JR. Appreciate it. So let's get to the talent. Enough about me and JR. Let's get to the talent. First up, Mr. Barney Winkler. Barney, I'll tell you what. Barney's good now, but he struggled in school. Okay? Barney was in grade school for 3 terms, Nixon, Ford, and Carter. Barney got a report card once. He had 4 F's and a D. His counselor said, you're spending too much time on one subject. Without further ado, my buddy, my pal, Mr. Barney Winkler.
Oh, Mike Obrien. This guy right here. This guy right here. This on? All right. This guy right here is my brother from another mother. I love this guy. Somebody take our before picture. Now, before I let Mike go, we got some pretty exciting news we want to share. It's kind of a, I'm going to take this. It's kind of a secret passion that Mike and I share together. Isn't that right, Mike? It is. Secret passion? Yes. Mike and I enjoy competitive, synchronized diving. And I know some of you are skeptical, but it all started years ago back at like the Wedgwood Swim Club, remember? And we'd be just hanging out all day doing cannonballs and jackknives, right?
All day long.
All day, and it turned out we were pretty good, right? We started kicking around the Pro-Am circuit and we did pretty well. We picked up a couple of sponsors, didn't we?
We did. Well, the first one didn't go real well.
Yeah, that's a story. So a couple years ago, we get sponsored by the Beer Nuts Company, you know, out of Bloomington, because they got this new product, this like spicy nut blend or something that they wanted us to promote. We're like, sweet. So we get our Speedos and we send them off to the printer, you know? Well, there's a little screw up at the printer. Instead of putting the logo on the back, they put it on the front of the Speedo. And let me tell you, we caused quite a stir at our next competition with the words hot nuts right across the front of our Speedos.
Yeah, we are still banned in Nashville.
Yeah, we cannot go back to Nashville. But it all worked out. Now we're sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Which is perfect for us.
It's perfect for us. We love peanuts, right? So, I mean, we're quite a sight. Let me give you a visual. So, imagine Mike and I, turn around so we can show them. We're up on the 50-meter height, right? And we're setting up for our signature dive, the reverse double twisting cannonball, right? And we're up there, right? Hands above the head, right across the butts. BWW, right here. I mean, it's a pretty incredible sight. But our big news is that Mike and I have been invited to the Olympic trials this summer in Niagara Falls. So
let's hope we make it to Rio.
Rio, baby, we're Rio bound. Mike Obrien, right there. Woo. So it's been like 2 years since I've been on stage, right? I mean, it's been a long time. And, you know, it's pretty exciting for me. People come up to me all the time. You know, we saw you on stage. You're such a funny guy. How do you do it? Do you write your own material? And you know what? I look at them and I say, you know what? You're right. I am a funny guy. And it's true. I write all my own material. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of insight into how I do what I do. You know, I just go through normal life, my everyday, and I just look for the things that are funny. I mean, it's pretty simple. And when I find something I think that's funny, I'll just get out my phone, just send myself a quick email, right? Just a word or two or a phrase, you know, to remind me of what I thought was funny. And then periodically, I just go through my emails. Some of the stuff, I just throw it away. It's not even funny. But the good stuff, I write it down in a notebook. And then when I want to get ready for something like tonight, I just get my notebook out and I go through and there's all my ideas and boom, I got my act. But I've come to discover that some of what's in there is just like completely random thoughts. I mean, and some of them, frankly, kind of dark. So I want to give you a couple examples of some of these random thoughts that I had in my notebook. So like 5 or 6 years ago, Molly and I went to Vegas with the Bradley basketball team. They were in a tournament out there. That was, you know, back when Bradley won basketball games. And so we're out there with a bunch of friends. Some of you here in the room were there that night, right? And we're just having an awesome time. And after the game, we get tickets to go see Stevie Wonder in concert. And we're like at the MGM in the big room, right, at the big arena. And I'm listening and he's playing all these great songs. I'm like, wow, this guy's really awesome. You know, this guy's amazing. I mean, sure, he's got the stupid hair, right, and his clothes. What's up with his clothes? I don't know. But an awesome guy. But then I'm thinking, you know, I bet he's had some rough times. I bet he's had some heartache in his life, right? And, you know, I bet one time he was dating a girl, you know, and he really liked this girl, you know, because he liked the way she smelled and he liked the way her face felt, you know. And one day she just shows up and she said, Stevie, we need to talk. And he's like, oh no. She said, Stevie, you know, I think you're a great guy, but this relationship just isn't working for me. I think we should see other people. I mean, that's kind of dark, right? Well, here's another one. This is really fun. So, not too long ago, I was watching some TV. Probably like some educational program, you know, like I always do. And there's a commercial that comes on, and it's for Kellogg's Corn Flakes. And it's just a dumb commercial. It's like this mom in the kitchen, and she's making breakfast, and the kids come in, they're like, Mom, she's like cornflakes. And it's just a stupid commercial, right? So I started thinking, what would make a better Kellogg's Corn Flakes commercial? And here's what I've come up with. I think this is pretty cool. Go along with me. So the commercial opens, and it's just showing an empty stage in like a seedy strip club. You know, there's the pole, and there's just like a curtain. And the DJ's voice comes on, and he's like, welcome to the main stage, Little Miss Cornflake. And out from the curtain comes like this sexy, busty, blonde cornflake. You know, she's wearing like 8-inch stripper heels and like a hot pink bikini. But I mean, she's fully covered. You know, this is a commercial for kids, right? So then the music starts, and it's that classic 80s rock anthem by Def Leppard. You know what I'm talking about. I'm hot, sticky, sweet. She's dancing like this. From my head down to my feet. Okay, I don't really have stripper moves, but you get the idea. Right? And then the camera cuts to the edge of the stage, and they're sitting there as like Snap, Crackle, and Pop. And they're just like high-fiving each other, and they're waving dollars yells at her, right? And then back to her on the stage, and she's just like working the pole. I don't have a pole, so I can't do it, but she's working the pole. And then the chorus of the songs come out. You know the song, sing with me. Pour some sugar on me, in the name of love, right? Great song, right? And then the commercial ends with just a picture in the corner of the strip club, and there's Tony the Tiger, and he's sitting there getting a lap dance from two girls, and he's like, they're great! So, that'll probably be on Saturday morning, coming out anytime soon, right? So like I said, it's been a couple years since I've been up here, right? And maybe some of you guys haven't seen me. And I know what you're thinking. Barney has not lost any weight. And you know what? You're right. I mean, I haven't. But just remember this. The stage adds 10 pounds. It's not like I don't want to lose weight. I mean, I think about it all the time. You know, usually while I'm eating something. You know, I try to get motivated. Like, I'll go on the internet and look at, like, before and after photos of people who, like, had great weight loss, you know? But it just depresses me more, because I look at the before pictures and I think, I'd be happy just to look like that. Yeah, it's not easy. And you know, I'd love to be one of those really good-looking guys, you know, kind of guy that wears, like, the cool clothes and the awesome shoes, right? You know, when they walk into a room, everybody's like, wow, who's that guy? But I'm not. You know, just the other day, my son John and I were talking, and he's like, we're talking about this exact thing. He's like, face it, Dad, we're not GQ. We're more like DQ. Yeah, it's not easy. And you know, you skinny people, you guys say the dumbest things. Just the other day, I had some skinny person come up to me like, remember, Barney, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Well, that's a bunch of crap. I got a whole list of things that taste better. And they all start with the word bacon. Bacon pizza, bacon wrapped shrimp, bacon cheeseburgers. I mean, I love bacon, right? So I have come up with some ideas, you know, to try to make it feel better, because I get self-conscious sometimes. You know, I think, you know what I need to do? I need to hang out with people that are bigger than me, because I look smaller, right? But that's the problem. I'm a really big guy. There's not that many out there. It's not like there's just NFL linemen walking the streets of Peoria, right? Now, interesting story. Early this year, my family went to Hawaii. And we're over there, and they got like these Hawaiian Samoan guys. You know the guys I'm talking about? And these guys are huge, right? But they just totally rock it. You know, they got like the tribal tattoos going, and they play the ukulele, and they got like the big Hawaiian shirt. They just totally embrace their bigness, you know? And I'm like, these are the guys I should be hanging out with, because they make me look good, right? They look awesome. Weird thing about these guys, though. Anybody ever been to Hawaii? They got the craziest names. Their names are like 25 letters long. They're like Wakanuki and like Ta'afu'apa'a. I mean, like 25 letters long. There's only like 3 consonants in the whole thing. I don't know what's going on in Hawaii, but I think they really love Wheel of Fortune, because when they buy a vowel, they buy it all. Yeah, you know, I'm telling you, I really do try. Hand to God, I work out. I mean, some of my workout friends are here tonight. I go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. I put on the sweats, and I work out. I sweat, I throw up, and nothing seems to help. And I've been thinking about it, you know. I think I figured out what part of the problem is. I think I got some people in my life that just don't support my weight loss goals. And I know that's kind of harsh, but, you know, we're all friends, right? You know, let me give you an example. Let's say I'm having a rough day at work. You know, nobody's buying anything from me, so the end of the day comes, and I decide, you know what, I'm going home. But I feel better, because I know that when I get home, my special little gal is going to be waiting for me. I'm going to walk in the kitchen, and she's going to be right there with all her goodies just on display for me. Of course, I'm talking about Little Debbie. I walk in, and she's got the oatmeal pies and the Nutter Butters, right? She takes all the pain away. Or another example. Let's say it's the end of a long week, right? I'm burned out from the week. It's 4:30, it's Friday. I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to happy hour. You know, because I get there, I know that all my buddies are going to be waiting for me. And some of them are in the room tonight, you know. I get to the bar and I walk in, and there's Johnny, Walker, Jim Beam, and Jack Daniels, and you know what? A couple hours with those guys, I'm feeling pretty good. But then, about 9 o'clock, you know what happens? Who walks in? Jose Cuervo, right? Hold up, boys! And that's where everything goes south. Next thing I know, I'm waking up the next morning in my bed, I'm just covered in nacho cheese and guilt. So I know that I need to make some changes, and that's really what I want to talk about tonight, is change. Because you know what, I'm going to be 50 years old next month, and I I've lived long enough. Yeah, 50. Woo! In the house. I've lived long enough that I've just really seen a lot of things change, and that's what I want to talk about, right? So the first thing I want to talk about, social media, right? I mean, in our generation, we've just seen social media explode. It's everywhere. I mean, we're obsessed with our Facebook and our Twitter and our Snapchat, our Instagram. It's crazy out there, right? And as I think about it, I'm like, when did we all become such self-absorbed narcissists, right? Now, if you're like me, you had to look up the definition of the word narcissist, so I'm going to share. It is a disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self-worth. Sounds about right. I mean, if you have a teenager with a cell phone, they've got an important sense of self-worth, don't they? I mean, when did we become so obsessed with like posting every detail of our life? Oh, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm eating. Look at the friends I'm with. Aren't you jealous of me? I'm so awesome. And then it's all about the likes, right? How many likes did I get on my post? Dude, I put this post on Instagram the other day. Got like 107 likes. It was awesome. I don't know. It's just taken over our lives. You know, we're obsessed with this stuff. And there's so many different kinds of social media out there, right? Anybody heard of this thing called Pinterest, right? So the deal on this is, it's an app where people from all over the world can like post pictures of like food they've made or like some craft thing they've done, and then other people can like it and pin it to their wall to save it for later. I mean, there's people out there who spend all day liking and painting and liking and painting. I mean, they got 2,000 craft ideas on their board. They don't even own a glue gun, you know? It's just a giant waste of time. So I think they need to change the name. I think instead of Pinterest, they need to call it Procrastinist, because it's just a giant waste of time. Then we got Twitter, right? We love us I like Twitter, right? Send in some tweets. And here's what I like about Twitter. They've got a rule. Your post can only be 140 characters long. So it's short, it's brief, right? Which is good, because it gets you through it faster. Does present a problem for some of the people out there, because there's I think we all know some people in the crowd who might be a little long-winded, right? Lon Lyons right here. I mean, this guy can't say hello in 5 minutes, so Twitter is out for him. No Twitter for Lon. But I think we know who the big dog on the block is when it comes to social media, right? You know who it is, Facebook. Oh, don't we love us some Facebook, right? And I gotta admit, I'm into it too. I drank the blue Kool-Aid a couple years ago, and I'm as addicted as the next guy. And when you first start out, Facebook is awesome, right? I mean, you sign up and you create your page and you post a picture, and then for the next week, every time you log on, you got all these friend requests. When did I become so popular? Who do I have this many friends, right? I mean, you're thinking Facebook is awesome. And you know, you're like posting pictures of your family and big events and stuff, and your friends are all liking them and making comments. And then you get to hook up with like old friends that you haven't seen in 32 years from high school. Like I got 2 of them right here who came to see me. That's awesome. And you're thinking, Facebook is awesome, right? But then, as you spend a little more time with it, you start to realize Facebook isn't so awesome, because you suddenly become obsessed with it. Suddenly you're checking your Facebook page like 5 or 6 times a day. What's going on? What am I missing? You slowly realize that Facebook is like a neck. It's like a chain around your neck, and you're enslaved to the big blue F. And it's bad. It's bad, right? And it's so bad is because there's certain people on Facebook. You know that certain type of Facebook fan? Anybody got one of these? I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna give you some examples of what this person's like. On average, they post between 20 and 30 times a day, right? And half those posts are just pictures of their pets doing something, you know, cute, right? These same people, every time there's like a big world news event, right? They gotta chime in. Like when Prince died, suddenly everybody was the biggest Prince fan in the world, right? They're quoting lyrics, they got purple wallpaper. Whatever the thing is, they're into it. You know what I'm saying? And then they post all the chain letters and those heartwarming videos. I mean, who's got time for that crap? I don't have time, right? And then when they post a picture, right, they do these hashtags, you know, the little pound sign thing, and there's like a word after it. So they post a picture, and it's like, hashtag family, hashtag fun, hashtag best vacation ever. And I just want to be like, hashtag shut up, right? Yeah, and then I think they're on Facebook all day long, because every time I make a post, right there, somebody's liking it. Right there, somebody's making a comment. Those people are always making comments. Oh, Barney, you look great, or oh, Barney, it was great to see you. You know, and then some of these people, maybe you got a friend like this. You got any friends that turn into grammar police on Facebook? Like you make a post and they're in the comments like, Linda, it's Y-O-U''re. These people are completely annoying. But the good news is that I have discovered the solution to Facebook. I've freed myself up. Because if you get in there, what you're going to find is there's a little something called the unfriend button. Now, I would never unfriend any of you people. But I have unfriended some people. And it's been the most liberating and freeing thing in my life. So here's what I want to tell you. You got the power. Use the unfriend button. Mary knows what I'm talking about. All right, the next area of change I want to talk to you guys about is flying. Remember when you were a kid and you first got on an airplane? I mean, it was awesome. It was so cool, right? I mean, you walked into the plane and the stewardess was like right there waiting for you, and she was like some fresh-faced 22-year-old girl from California. She was wearing like go-go boots and like a mini dress, and she's like, yeah, let's get you your seat. You know, she got you your seat, and they pinned a set of wings on you with like a real pin. Couldn't have that today. You know, thanks a lot, Bin Laden. But you know, it was awesome, right? And then once you took off and got in the air, you know, they came around with like beverage and food service. Remember when they used to serve food on a plane? I mean, okay, the food wasn't very good, right? But I mean, it came on like that little metal tray, which was really cool, and the hot stuff stayed hot, and the cold stuff stayed cold, and somehow the dessert was always like the temperature of the sun, like burned the crap out of your mouth. But flying was awesome. Maybe you sat next to some stranger and you started talking to him, and somewhere between like his second scotch and his third Marlboro, he told you about the exciting world of plastics. But not today. Flying's changed. Flying is horrible. You know, first of all, you got to get through security, and I hate security because, as I mentioned earlier, kind of got a weight problem. And you know, what's the first thing they ask you to do when you go through security? I'm sorry, sir, you're gonna have to take your belt off. Well, this presents a problem because the belt is the only thing holding these pants up. So, you know, I get the shoes and the belt, I put them on the conveyor belt thing, and then I walk over to that new, like, full body scanner thing, right? You know, thing, whoosh, 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 right? And so I get in there and I put my feet down where you're supposed to put them, and I don't know, was anybody like me the first time you got that thing, you expected like a fan to come on and money to start flying around? I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I get in there, and I put my feet down, and then the TSA guy is like, put your hands over your head, right? Like this. But this is where the problem comes in for me. Because when I raise my hands like this above my head, my torso kind of elongates a little bit, and my waist shrinks, so that when the hands go up, the pants go down. Hands up, pants down. At this point, the TSA guy just looks at me and says, let him through. He's not packing anything dangerous. So I get on the plane, right? I walk on the plane, and there's the stewardess. Oh, I'm sorry, flight attendant. You know, politically correct these days. And no longer is it a 22-year-old fresh-faced girl. Now it's like a 37-year-old woman, and like her hair's up in a bun, and she's wearing like a polyester pantsuit. I mean, they're just not happy to be there, right? So I get to my seat, you know, and the seats have changed, right? I mean, this thing will hold about 38% of my ass. I mean, it's not good. I feel sorry for the person sitting next to me. So I get in my seat and we take off. And they announce that they're going to start the beverage service. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, because I could get a beverage and maybe a little snack. Fun fact about Barney. Not a lot of people know this. My family does. When I'm on an airplane, I only order ginger ale. I don't know why. Just my special little treat, right? So they come down, I get my ginger ale, and then they hand me a snack. The snacks suck these days, am I right? I mean, remember not that many years ago when like they'd come around and they'd have like a basket full of like rolled gold pretzels and like Mr. Salty Peanuts, you know what I'm talking about? Maybe they'd have some little cookies, like a little pack of Oreos or some Nutter Butters. I mean, Nutter Butter and a ginger ale? Not bad, let me tell you. And they handed those things out. They just put the tray in front of you. You could take as many as you want. It was like the Cool House on Halloween, you know what I'm saying? It was like Oprah and her favorite thing show. And you get a Nutter Butter, and you get an Oreo. I mean, it was awesome, right? But not today. Now they give you like one tiny little bag of generic peanuts. And this kind of ticked me off. So I did some research. I found out what happened to the snacks. You want me to tell you what happened to the snacks? So like 3 or 4 years ago, there's like a big meeting of like, screw you airlines, right? And it's a big corporate meeting, and like President Scrooge is up there and all the top executives, and he's like, we gotta make more money, you know, we're charging them for bags and we're charging them for seats, but we gotta make more money. And Nobody's saying anything. And then all of a sudden, like at the back of the room, this hand kind of slowly goes up. And it's Timmy McNew guy, who's like an intern. You know, he's been there like 3 weeks. And President Scrooge is like, what do you got? And he's like, well, sir, I've come up with a plan for the snacks. Instead of the, big bags of the special treats, we're gonna make just like a tiny bag of peanuts with like 12 peanuts or like 13 pretzels. And we'll hand those out. We're gonna save like $72 million a year. President Scrooge is like, that's awesome, you're a genius. So that's what happened to snacks. But then what happened to the cookies, right? So the next year at this meeting, President Scrooge is up there, he's like, we need to make more money, right? And he's looking for Timmy because Timmy's his guy. But he's not Timmy new guy anymore. Now he's like, Timmy the vice president is screwing the passenger, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, Timmy, what do you got for me? And Timmy's like, well, sir, this year we're gonna change the cookies. President Scrooge is like, but Timmy, I love the Nutter Butters. Timmy's like, sir, we gotta make more money. He goes, I've come up with the plan. Instead of the Oreos, we're gonna hand out this new cookie I found. It's called the biscotti. It looks fancy, but it tastes like shit. Nobody will make that. But for me, the big change in flying happened just a couple years ago. Maybe some of you noticed this. The Sky Mall catalog went out of business. Didn't we love us some Sky Mall? I mean, you couldn't wait to get into the seat, pull that baby out, and just peruse all those useless and worthless products, right? Maybe you remember the catalog. The first section was like the travel products, right? And they had this cool thing in there, and it was like this giant inflatable pool toy wedge-shaped looking pillow thing, right? You could blow it up and you could like set it on the tray table and then lay like this. And you could sleep on it. And in the picture, I mean, this guy is like, just got this smile on his face, he's just like snoozing his way to Atlanta, right? So I'm like, I gotta get one of these things. So I ordered one and I got on my next flight and, we take off and I get my ginger ale and my 12 pretzels and it's time for a nap. So I pull this thing out of my bag, right? Turns out it's not as awesome as I thought. Because here's the deal. When you're cruising at like 28,000 feet and you're huffing and puffing and blowing up this giant pool toy thing, you quickly enter like this oxygen-deprived state and you just black out. Turns out the guy in the picture wasn't sleeping. He was unconscious. So then, maybe you remember the next section of the catalog was like the home and garden section, right? All kinds of stupid products. I ordered one. Does anybody remember the lawn aerating sandals? Remember this? It was like this green shoe-shaped plastic thing that had straps that could go over your shoes, and on the bottom of it were like these 4-inch long metal spikes. There was like 30 of them. And the idea was that as you walked around your yard, you were going to be aerating your yard. And I'm like, this is perfect for me because I am all about lawn maintenance. So this thing comes in the mail and I'm really excited. So I go outside and I sit down on my front porch, right? And I strap these babies on. Well, instantly I have a problem because I'm here on the front porch and there's like 6 feet of sidewalk before I get to the grass, right? So I stand up and I look like a 12-year-old girl with her first pair of high heels. I'm just walking over there. But I finally get to the grass and I set my left foot down and sinks right into the grass. I'm aerating, baby, this is awesome. And then I set the right foot down and it sinks right in. And then I realize I'm really screwed because I'm completely stuck. I mean, Molly didn't come out for like 3 hours. I was stuck. Not as awesome as I had thought. Now, also in that home and garden section, they had a big selection of lawn, like ornaments, like statues and stuff, like gargoyles and angels and the little boy going to the bathroom. But the coolest thing they had, does anybody remember the 8-foot tall statue of Bigfoot? Right? The Yeti, you know what I'm talking about? This thing's like 8 feet tall, costs $2,500. Who the hell is buying this? Who's putting this in their yard? But here's the thing I always wonder, because I got that mind, right? Every time you see a picture of the Bigfoot or the Yeti, always in the same pose, always like this, right? Always from the right side. You never see him from the left side. I'm thinking, what's going on over there on the left side? Because that's the way I think. Was he attacked by a bear and horribly scarred? Is it Yeti pattern baldness? I don't know. I wonder a lot of these things. But I'm back onto the catalog. So the last section of the catalog, I don't know if everybody remembers, like the last 5 or 10 pages was always the movie memorabilia section, right? And they had all kinds of memorabilia from your favorite movies, like from Titanic, you could get Kate Winslet's necklace, or Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, right? And there was always like 2 full pages each for like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Remember what I'm talking about? And come on, guys, back me up. Some of you guys my age, who didn't fantasize about owning Harry Potter's wand and the one ring. I mean, wouldn't that make us the coolest guy ever, right? But sadly, the Skyball has gone out of business. And I just don't understand what happened. I mean, it seemed like a foolproof business plan. Sell products that no one needs and market them in a catalog that's only available on an airplane where you can't place an order. I don't see how it didn't make it. Now, my last area of change that I want to talk about tonight, something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. It's beer. Beer has changed. Remember when you first started drinking? For me, I was 14 and on a church yacht. That's a whole other story. But back then, beer was awesome, right? It was simple. You had Bud, you had Bud Light. You had Miller, you had Miller Light. Simple, right? And, I mean, the commercial was awesome. You had Buzz McKenzie, right? You had the What's Up guys, What's Up? Remember all those great commercials? But now beer has changed. Now we've got import beers and craft beers and micro beers. It's so confusing. And beers, it's gotten fancy. It's gotten pretentious. I just don't understand it. The other day I was on the internet and I found this website called thebeeradvisor.com. And basically all this website has is people write reviews of these import beers. I actually wrote one down so you get an idea what they're talking about. It's called Reindeer Tears Black Wax. Appearance, black body, reddish highlights, and a half-inch of fine tan head. Are you talking about beer? Smell, gingerbread dominates with equal parts sweetness and gingery spice. Some chocolate maltiness as it warms. Taste, piquant, intense gingerbread richness up front. Some vanilla and oak on the back end. Delicious, but not as much depth as I had hoped for. I mean, seriously, who says this crap? I mean, can you imagine sitting around with your buddies in a bar talking like this? But you know, I wanted to do some research to get ready for this, so I went to one of these microbreweries, right? We got one here in town. JR, microbrew. And, you know, I go in and it's kind of a cool place, right? It's kind of like a chill vibe, right? There's people sitting around like comfortable chairs and playing board games, just drinking a beer, being relaxed, right? Then I look over at the bar, and up above the bar, they got like this giant chalkboard, right? And they got the names written of all these beers, and I'm trying to read them. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. It's like reading a foreign language. So I walk up to the bar, and I sit down, and the bartender's like, "What can I get you?" And I said, "I don't know, a beer?" And she just shoots me a look of complete disgust, right? She says, "Well, you can have an ale or a lager, an IPA or a bock, a shandy or a wheat beer, or a porter or a stout." And I'm thinking, I don't even know what she's talking about, right? It's so confusing. And I look at her and I say, "Who comes up with all this stuff?" And she said, "Well, the two brewmasters, they're sitting right behind you." And I'm thinking, brewmaster? I mean, that's kind of a cocky name, isn't it? I mean, I could see like brew advisor or brew technician, but brewmaster, right? Pretty pretentious. I mean, I'm a salesman, right? And I think I'm a pretty good salesman. My business card doesn't say sales master, right? And what if we carried this over to other professions? I mean, suddenly a gynecologist is a vagina master. By the way, Molly approved that joke. So I start to turn around because I want to check out these guys and see what they look like. And in my mind, I kind of have some preconceived notions as to what I'm going to see, right? I'm pretty much expecting Hans and Franz from Saturday Night Live. "Yeah, we are here to drunk you up. How is your puny American beer? How would you like a real beer, girly man?" When I turned around, that wasn't what I saw at all. I mean, it's just like two like slacker-looking dudes in like flannel shirts and Birkenstocks, right? And right as I turn around, the one guy's saying to the other guy, "You know, I'm just like in this phase right now where I'm experimenting with like cinnamon and juniper berries. It's pretty awesome." I just shook my head and turned around. And the bartender's still waiting for me to order, so I'm like, "Give me one of them lemon, grapefruit, citrus, shandy things." And she says, "Okay, what size?" I'm like, "How many sizes you got?" Again, she shoots me a look of complete disgust. She says, "Well, you can have them a short or a tall, a pint or a liter, a stein or a tankard, a half yard or a full yard, or a boot or a growler." I'm like, "What the hell is a growler," right? So she explains to me, a growler is like this 96-ounce bottle. It's resealable, it's glass, and you can take it home with you full of beer. And I'm thinking, this is a great idea, right? Because I've been sitting here for like 3 hours drinking all these beers that are like 10% alcohol, right? And what do I do at that point? I think, I should take some home. Molly would love this. I mean, what could go wrong, right? You're driving down the road, weaving all over, and the cop pulls you over, and he's like, "You been drinking tonight?" I mean, what are you going to say? You got 96 ounces of Angry Bastard Ale riding shotgun. I mean, what are you going to do? So I thought about it, and I think I've come up with a solution to this whole beer sizing conundrum, right? I mean, it's very confusing. I want to simplify the whole process. We're going to break it down based on the 7-Eleven drink strategy. You know, the big gulp, right? So we're just going to sell 3 sizes of beers. The Big Drunk, 32 ounces. Perfect for, like, you know, happy hour with your buddies or dinner with your in-laws. Second size, the Super Big Drunk, 44 ounces. This would be for, like, tailgate parties or sit down the bleachers at Wrigley Field. And then the third size, the last one, the Mega Drunk. The Mega Drunk. It's like 64 ounces of liquid goodness. And this is reserved for, like, you gotta be careful, fraternity parties, maybe bachelor parties. So 3 sizes, look for it, coming soon. So that's what I have to talk to you guys about tonight. There's a lot of change. And speaking of that, I think it's about time we change to another comedian. But before I go, I gotta do one thing. I gotta get a selfie so I can put it on Facebook. Everybody say cheese. Cheese. I had a great time. I'm going to go post this on Facebook. Okay, thank you.
Is that awesome or what? Barney Winkler. The guy sells toilet paper by day, but he comes up with this comedy at night. Very, very good, Barney. Thank you so much. And I wanted to give kudos to Andy Driscoll. Andy's back there in the corner. He owns this place. Andy has been so instrumental in trying to bring energy to downtown Peoria, and he has done it. I mean, this is an absolutely gorgeous building. There's condos upstairs. Andy has a couple rooms for wedding receptions. He's got a cabaret room downstairs. Just a fantastic place. As I said earlier, Andy has his Because days going on Friday nights, I believe it is, where Andy gives the room to somebody like this, and all the money goes towards our WFED Children's Fund charity. So please, a nice round of applause for Andy Driscoll. Now to the star of our show, the pride of Pekin, Illinois.